Hey guys, it's Miki ASMR here, and today I'm going to be reading a Tsukishima Kei X listener. This one is titled Tainted Colors, and this one is made by Toru Love on AO3, and the story will of course be down in the description box below, so if you want to read that, make sure you check it out. And I wanted to say before I start the video, I'm sorry for not posting this week. I have been really busy with school stuff and getting the channel ready for a few things because I had a little bit of problems, I guess. And I wanted to say again before I start the video, this is a soulmate AU where everybody's born colorblind, but you can only see colors when you fall in love, and the colors grow brighter as the person's falling more in love. And this doesn't ensure a lasting connection, but it will. As the moment that you are in love, you will see color. That's it. Alright. Anyways, without further ado, let's get right on into the video. Chapter 1. Faded Beginnings. You're just too good to be true. I can't take my eyes off of you. Tsukishima Kei did not believe in falling in love. Sure, he believed in loving things, but being in love sounded absolutely ridiculous. The entire basis of love, relationships, it just never made any sense to him. You, on the other hand, very well had your heart placed on your sleeve. You had millions of crushes, a constant new person in your focus. The thing was, you had never once seen color. Color only came to those who fell in love. Though these crushes were, through those crushes, through those varying false relationships, in games of Spin the Bottle and 7 Minutes in Heaven, you had never actually once fallen in love. It was becoming frustrating. While Tsukishima was perfectly content in living in a world without color, in the same grayscale life that he'd always known, while you were drowning trying to find someone to hang on to. What strange friends you were. Well, not friends per se, but acquaintances for sure. A comfortable relationship between the two of you, full of eye contact, your flirtations, and his constant coming to come to your coffee shop. Time skip or scenario change. If we had to name a beginning, it would start the first week of summer. You were working at a coffee shop, this little place called Blue. It was a simple corner shop, squished in between two other buildings. You just wanted a summer job to pass the time by and get some money, nothing permanent. Until, one day, a tall boy with glasses walked into the place. He looked bored out of his mind as his eyes scanned the menu above your head. He didn't say anything to you when you greeted him. "Welcome to Blue, what can I get for you today?" in your best customer service voice. Nor did he say anything when you handed him his coffee. He only spoke to you once, in monotone. "I'll take a black coffee," he ordered. You were absolutely infatuated. One, because who orders a plain black coffee in the middle of summer? And two, he was cute. He had to be around your age, you decided. Though most kids your age would never get a plain black coffee, and he was pretty tall. He had the youth you did. You just knew it. "Kei," you called that for his order, and he didn't even look into your eyes. Time skip. This was a repeat occurrence throughout the rest of summer. Every morning, sometimes he would say Sometimes he would say something more like, Sometimes he would say something more like a little hello before ordering, or he would steal glances at you, and there would be a staring contest between the two of you for a moment or two. Occasionally, he even muttered a thank you when you handed him the mug. Call it what you want, but you call it progress. One particular morning, he was dressed up. You didn't know what for. You didn't know much about him, as it were, and all you could do was admire him. He was stunning in a dark suit, the grayscale doing nothing but bringing out how handsome he looked in it. "Well, don't you look ravishing today?" he flirted, already moving to get his black coffee. "The usual?" He gave a small nod, not reacting to your compliment. His hands were placed in his pockets, and a dangly earring in one of his ears. "Well, here you go." You handed him the mug. One plain black coffee for Kei. Don't spill it on yourself." "I would never," he said, his voice still monotone, but you caught it. A small quip in the corner of his lip. You almost got him to smile. Time skip. However, most mornings it was the same thing. He would come in, order a black coffee for Kay, and sit near the window and scroll through his phone through sips. He would watch as the sun created lighter grays along his skin and hair. He would watch as the glare gleamed off his glasses. Oh, how you wish you could see the color of his hair. And one day, you did. Time skip. It was a usual summer day. Autumn was approaching fast, so cool winds started to battle against the sun, but he came nonetheless. Kay with his black coffee, except this time, it was different. "Welcome back, stranger," he greeted, smiling as bright as he could. You didn't even ask him what he wanted, and you were already getting the black coffee ready behind the counter. "I'll take a black coffee," he said, monotone and normal. But it wasn't normal, not even the slightest bit, because when you looked up to hand him his coffee, you were met with an array of colors. You had to blink a few times, but to make sure that you were seeing, the colors faded, newly forming, but they were still very much there. He had a light yellow hair. No, wait, blonde was the word you were looking for. He was frozen too, just standing there. But then you realized that you were just staring, his coffee in your hands. He must have thought you were insane. "Kay, can I ask you something?" you asked, not wanting to hand him his drink yet. You weren't one to let your questions go unanswered. For a moment, he blinked at you. He definitely thought you were insane. "What? Do you see color?" If you saw color as you looked at him, you hoped that maybe he saw color when he looked at you. No? Right, of course not. "Okay, thanks, I was just wondering." You handed him the mug, plastering a fake smile on your face, partly for the sake of customer service, and mainly to cover your disappointment. "Enjoy." He gave you one last look over, one last glance, before going back to his usual spot by the window. The thing was, you were hoping that he did. You know how ridiculous it sounded, being in love with someone who's only spoken a few sentences to you. But you couldn't deny that spending the entire summer excited to see one person at work. It made sense that you would be. You just weren't expecting the colors to arrive before you had to leave your job. The perfect time to fall for someone you probably would never see again once you would leave and return to school and sports full time. Love really does come when you least expect it. Time skip. For the rest of the day, you spent your time finding as many colors as you could. You didn't want it to go away, though it was a likely chance. The color would go away when the love did. You had to look up what some of the colors were. It was strange to be taught colors without ever seeing them. Your parents had explained how some colors look, but it was completely different. It was like each one of them had their own feeling. But even then, you only witnessed the faded versions of these colors. The sky was a pale blue, hidden by the gray clouds. The grass was almost yellow, and the shop that you worked at was a soft brown. Everything was still hidden by the grayscale you were accustomed to, and you couldn't help but want to see more, see them in their full color. Maybe falling completely and utterly in love would be an amazing thing. Time skip. It was comparable to the sun and the moon, the relationship between you and Tsukishima Kei. You danced around each other, hoping to chase the light that each brought, or that the other brought. When you worked the next morning, your usual boy didn't show up. Your eyes searched for him at every ding of the bell above the door that announced someone new entering, but it was never him. Sighing, you ended your last shift there. Maybe you would come back as a customer, order a drink that had way too much sugar, and sit down at the spot that you would hope he would show up to and sit next to you. Or maybe you would just run into him on your way out. Or not. As you hung up your apron for the last time, you gave your manager your name tag and said your last goodbyes to your favorite coworkers. You accepted the fact that the colors would be leaving soon. They very well couldn't stay if you ended up falling out of love with the boy you would never see again. Time skip. It had been months. Months, and the colors didn't leave, and they didn't grow any brighter. You were stuck in a world where everything was filtered to be faded, and you were growing annoyed. Just fucking go away already, he spoke to the universe. You would rather live in a world without color than living in a world of almost. Time skip. There's a lot of time skips or scene changes in this, and I'm sorry about that. Everyone, Taichi called for the team to join him, and they obeyed. Now that Coach Yukai is our official coach, he's come up with an idea. It's a pretty good one, so hear him out, Taichi announced. He turned to their coach, letting him speak. Alright guys, Yukai crossed his arms. We have some tournaments this weekend, so do some of the other sports teams, specifically the girls' volleyball teams and softball, or the girls' volleyball teams, the softball teams, and the baseball teams. Suki was bored. What did softball and baseball have to do with volleyball? Their season isn't for months anyways. They have plenty of time before their actual games. So I've talked with the softball and basketball coaches, and they think that it would be a good idea for us to team up for some fundraising things for the next couple of weeks so we can get buses, Yukai exclaimed. Oh, and on top of that, someone from the softball team said that they could help us with volleyball practice after softball, since we typically end later than they do anyways. Wait, softball? Tanaka gasped. So a girl's gonna be helping us? A girl already does help us, dumbass. Suki rolled his eyes. Kyoko did too, but subtly. Yeah, she'll be here in a couple of minutes, so I wanted to give you a warning, Yukai said. She's in her first year, but I expect respect. Alright, now that that's out of the way, let's get on with practice. Okay, cool. Now back to practice, the reason they were there to begin with. They had practiced for a little bit, going through drills and doing a bit of half-assed running, which Suki still never really understood. Why would we have to run miles? Or why would he have to run miles if he was just a blocker? Until a girl walked in. It was you. You were here, at Karasuno, at his practice. You walked in, still in your softball practice uniform. Every time that he had seen you during the summer, you had never had your hair down, but when you walked into the gym to greet Coach Yukai with a smile, your hair was down and messy from the wind. Everyone else had noticed. Suki had stopped in his tracks and dropped what he was doing, and stopped what they were doing, turning their heads to see what or where he was looking. Or rather, who. Now you had the entire team's attention. That was when you had caught his eye. His breathing stopped, and so did yours. Oh, this story, I already read this story, and oh my god, let me just say, it's good. It's really good. It's good, guys. Don't worry. This is going to be an 8-part series, if I go read by every chapter. I was going to read 2 chapters in this, but then it would have been really long, so I decided not to. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you subscribe and tap the notification bell so you get notified every single time I post a video. And also like the video because it is something for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye!